Hey everyone, this is Cryptic Girl with Henna Hotties, and this quick video is going to be to show you a couple of different ways that you can apply henna to the skin. One way that a lot of people use, especially new starting out, is to use a jack bottle. This is a jack bottle, and these are adjustable sized jack bottle tips. It's actually really kind of convenient, especially when you're new to this and starting out. Less messy. Now, I have henna all over my fingers right now, so excuse that. But basically what you do is you pick the tip size that you want. It snaps on here, and you give it a little twist, and you're ready to go. You hold the jack bottle. It's like a large cone, and you can squeeze out different designs with it. Let's see here. The only problem, this henna might be a bit thick. Let's get some up towards the tip here first. This is one of the problems with working with a jack bottle. One of the reasons why you might, if you start doing really heavy designs and stuff, jack bottles tend to be a little rough on the thumb. There we go. My henna is always thicker than a lot of people's. You would have to make your henna thinner to work in a jack bottle, which tends to bleed into the design and doesn't go over very well. And bigger designs, your thumb's going to cramp. But otherwise, it's a very easy way to learn, and it's less messy. If you're into less messy, this is a way to go. Okay, another way, here, let me clean up. This is Esmeralda, by the way. Esmeralda is my model. I have Esmeralda's hand and Esmeralda's foot. Although Esmeralda's foot, a lot of people think is creepy, so I don't bring that out too much. This is basically a mani-pedi practice hand. I don't do anything with the nails, but these nails, and I don't know if the toenails are exchangeable, but yeah, that's kind of gross. But anyway, you slide the nails on and off. I don't use it for that. I just use it to practice my henna on. The one thing that if you do get one of these, they're pretty cheap. It's like 10 bucks for the hand. It will stain. The pattern will stain on there, even if you only leave it on for a few minutes. You just kind of get used to that. Esmeralda's hand looks like crap because I've done so much work on it in the past. Anyway, okay, another way of putting on the henna is using a brush. Now, when you're going to put on henna with a brush, and I've got a little bit of a mess going on over here. I already did this once. You're going to want a little dish to work with. I usually only use brushwork. I don't want that all over my desk. I usually only use brushwork to do big shading areas or a special type of shading. Like say I was going to do a flower. This is how I would do it. Let's see, Esmeralda's a little cockeyed to me, so this is a little difficult. I put the petal shading in with the brush, and then I would use my cone to do the rest of the detail work. When you're shading, you've diluted down the henna. It will still stain, but it's going to stain fainter. It'll still have brush lines that are left behind, and it'll still have patterning. So it can give you some really cool effects on the skin. And I use acrylic brushes. Well, these are actually my destroyed acrylic brushes that I no longer use for acrylic paints. As you can see, they've been used quite a bit. I have 2 of these type of brushes. I have a fan brush that I use. Fan brush would do bigger flower petals and tends to do really cool draggy swirls. And then I have a Chinese ink brush that I use sometimes because it does swirls really nicely when it's wet. Right now it's dry, and I really shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to ruin it. But those are the 4 brushes. Sometimes I use a tiny little detail one, and you can apply henna completely with a tiny little detail one if you're very good at it. You need to work with it thicker. Your pattern is going to be thicker, but you can get some very intricate designs. More modern, not the traditional henna style. Okay, another way is obviously, now let me get this stuff out of the way so I don't spill it and make a disaster. Your henna cone. I love the henna cone. It's so much easier. When you do a henna pattern with the cone, it's going to put thread-like lines. Now, I'm going to just work around this flower so you can see how they can be combined. I'm going to outline this just like that. These are very fine lines. Now, probably also would be really good if I had my glasses on to see what I was going to do. Now, if you look, and I don't know how well this camera is going to show you the fine lines that I'm putting on here. So let me darken up one of them. This is just an example. We're not going for perfect here. The shading is going to come in lighter. Wherever you put the lines for the design, that is going to be a darker one. Now I have a faded pattern on my hand. I have, most of the shading has faded out on this. But let's see if I can find one here. This flower here, I had shaded. Most of it's faded out, but you can sort of see where it is. You can also see where the lines were. I probably should show you. I will pull up another video of where I actually did this on somebody's feet or hands or something like that and show you how the shading technique works. But for right now, this is just to give you an idea of the different styles that you can learn. There is also they have stenciling, and a lot of kits that you'll see to start out on henna will use stencils. Some people exclusively will only use stencils because they're not very artistic, or it's just easier and quicker. They take a lot of practice. I suck at stenciling. Totally. I can't do it. Every time I put the stencil on, it shifts, it screws up the pattern. My henna, the way I mix it, is too thick and stringy. So when I go to pull the stencil off, half the pattern comes with it. I am a disaster when it comes to stenciling. So I'm not the person to watch videos on if you're looking for how to stencil henna. But that is another way you can put it on. There's the old way, the ancient way. And I don't think I actually have, hold on one second. I don't have a clean one anyway. Let me get this. Is they would put it on with sticks. Long time ago. They would put it on with sticks. And they would just tap it into different designs. Just like that. It's very time consuming. Very authentic. They would use pointy sticks. Different size pointy sticks. To mix the henna and put it on. Henna was a lot more coarse, obviously. Then if you're using sticks, you don't have to worry about clogging cones. So it didn't matter if there was little extra plant material in it or anything like that. Let me get the henna off of myself before I turn into a freakazoid. Too late. Anyway, there's various different, if you can think of a way to put it on the skin, you can probably try it and see if you can get some different techniques. Learn your own techniques. Every artist is different. I used ways that somebody else might look at me and say, what are you doing? It's how you want to portray your art. As long as people like it, and as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters. So that's it for this video. I am Cryptic Girl for Henna Hotties, and please don't forget to rate and comment. Every little bit helps.